Welcome, friends. I welcome you to the second session in the series of, opening up yourself in lockdown. Today, we have an amazing person who belongs to the same domain as I do, which is mindfulness and meditation. ये सीरीज़ जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं is to help you to really open up in this lockdown and not remain closed, not remain fearful, not remain stressed out, not remain confused. And that is the reason I'm trying कि मैं हर दिन आपको किसी ऐसे एक इंसान से मिलाऊँ जो लाइफ में कुछ बहुत ही आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स, कुछ बहुत डिफरेंट, कुछ बहुत अलग कर रहा है, ताकि आपको उस इंसान की स्टोरी सुन कर के भी काफ़ी इंस्पिरेशन मिले, काफ़ी मोटिवेटेड फील हो और काफ़ी अमेजिंग लगे. एज यू नो दैट द मोर पीपल वी मीट, द मोर एक्सपोजर वी गेट, द वाइजर वी बिकम. तो जितने ज़्यादा लोगों से हम मिलते हैं, जितने ज़्यादा लोगों से हम बात करते हैं, जितने ज़्यादा लोगों से हम उनकी कहानी सुनते हैं, उतने ही ज़्यादा हम बेहतर बनते हैं. तो इसी कड़ी में आलोक टोंक है. आलोक ईस्टर्न माइंडफुलनेस के फाउंडर है और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी है आलोक की भी. तो आलोक is here, I think. So क्यों ना हम आलोक की वाणी ही कर लें. Hi Alok, how are you doing?
Hi Nakul, I'm fantastic Nakul, how are you?
I'm doing amazing as well.
First of all, thank you very much for having me here Nakul. Thank you very much for initiating this amazing interactive series. And all the people who are joining us. Guys, hello, how are you? Thank you very much for joining in, tuning in.
So Alok, please tell us something about yourself. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth himself. So your journey, your story, and what you are really doing.
Right. This is important. This is important, and also would like to add a little flavor to this entire conversation, and will also add a meaning to this connection. So Nakul, I come from a corporate background, wherein after working for 15 odd years with different organizations in different positions, with some leaders, working for some good leaders, being a leader, having my own team, being a part of some think tanks. And I was able to spot certain common behavioral and emotional patterns. And people were going through these emotional patterns, these behavioral patterns, and I'm sure you'll be able to identify with these patterns. The patterns of stress, anxiety, uncertainty, insecurity, fatigue, fear. Nakul, if you see, this is something which is very common. There is nothing wrong in experiencing this, because this is our body's natural phenomena to combat any kind of stresses that we go in our life. Right? And I was able to see people going through this, my colleagues, my bosses, my clients, my team members, everyone. Even I fell prey to these stresses. I did fall prey to them. But somewhere, Nakul, I think that I've been lucky, because right from the age of 15, I'm trying and I'm practicing certain self-enhancement and self-enrichment practices. I was guided into this, and mindfulness happens to be one of them. So this really helped me in terms of, aligning myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, enabled to clear up my perceptions, to see things in a better manner, to have the right perspectives and right perceptions. This really helped me to gather myself in difficult times, and we all have difficult times, right? Even now, when we look at COVID-19, it is a real crisis that we are facing. And even Nakul, if we delete this COVID-19 episode from our lives, right? Still, we had our own problems, our own challenges, our own barriers and hurdles in different shapes and sizes. And I was able to see people going through this. Even I fell prey, as I said, but this practices, they really helped me to stay grounded and hold myself together. Nakul, that's when I thought, if these things have really helped me, they can help everyone. Because, if we see psychologically and physiologically, we are structured in a similar manner. If certain things are really helping me, it can help anyone. And the beauty of human life is that we always love to share something which is beautiful. Something which has really helped us, which has really touched us in a beautiful way. We want our loved ones, our near and dear ones, to experience the same emotion, right? I'll give you an example. Whenever we get some great message on WhatsApp, what we do, we instantly forward it to the nearest and dearest one. Now WhatsApp has this 5% limitation, but earlier we used to do it 1%. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is so somewhere, Nakul, I think that human beings, we are not just a bundle of flesh, blood and bones. We are a bundle of needs. We have so many needs. And out of these needs, I somewhere figured out there are 4 primal needs which builds us up. 4 primal needs. Number 1 is the need to feel certain. The need to, have that kind of safety in our lives. That's the first thing. Our brain wants us to be safe. Our brain wants the species to survive. The second need is to grow. All of us, we want to grow. We want to become something more. That's the nature of the spirit. Our spirit cannot be held back. It wants to grow. It wants to expand.
Absolutely.
The third need is to feel significant. All of us, we want to feel significant. We want to feel important. When someone recognizes what you are doing, when someone says, Nakul, you are doing a fantastic job. I really love the way you are working. That gives you a good feeling, right? And the fourth need is the need for contribution, to give back to the society. And that's what I felt, that somewhere this need was on the higher side in terms of giving back. If something has really helped me, so in terms of mindfulness, in terms of meditation, in terms of these practices, mental wellness practices, that's where I started connecting with my colleagues, my bosses. I started connecting even with my clients off the table. So we used to talk, and I used to give them certain processes. They started feeling good, and I was able to see some great results. That really boosted my confidence in what exactly I was doing.
Yeah.
That's where I thought that there is a larger realm which is outside that needs these practices. That's when I completely left it, and I started a platform which can accelerate whatever I was doing. So that's where Eastern Mindfulness comes into picture. And we call Eastern Mindfulness as a scientific platform because we have done certain research and tests in terms of the MRIs and fMRIs and EEGs in order to understand how our neurological patterns work, how our brain works, how our mind responds to any kind of stresses, how our mind responds to fatigue. And the kind of brain waves that we experience in terms of beta, alpha, theta and delta, what kind of brain waves we are in when we are in that rat race. And when we meditate, when we do mindfulness, how do we, we transcend to different kinds of brainwaves. So it was such an interesting study, Nakul, I should tell you this. Yeah. And this is what made us more confident in terms of Eastern Mindfulness. And that's what we connect with organizations. We offer them these processes and practices nationally and internationally. We connect with them. Apart from this, there are certain other philanthropy projects that we are on, but we are not much vocal about that. That keeps on going.
Wow.
And other projects as well, but that I would like to keep them classified as of now. So yes, Nakul, you'll see lots coming in the next few months and years.
Wow, I'm very sure. So Alok, tell me, people, once they get into the rat race, they get into the corporate life, chasing money, chasing success, chasing, position. It's very difficult for them to leave the rat race, to think something different, to do something different. They face a lot of fear. How do I really switch and go to something very unconventional? So when you switched from your typical corporate life, your 15 years of corporate life,
yes,
to a very unconventional thing, which is teaching mindfulness and meditation,
right,
something which has been very ancient, known to us, something which has been a part of our country, and people have been distributing it for free, all our rishis and all our gurus. And yet you come out and say, hey, I'm going to teach you professionally, and now this is what I'm going to do with my life. I'm not going to become a guru. I'm going to become an Eastern mindfulness, trainer. So how did you manage that fear of uncertain, of being judged, of being, taking the road not taken, like Robert Frost said? So how was that journey?
Nakul, it is not easy. It's not easy. I would like to tell everyone who is listening to this, who would like to take a different turn in their lives. It's not easy. I would like to keep my heart out today in this conversation. And honestly speaking, the thing is, I never took this as a profession. There's a difference between a profession and there's a difference between and passion. So profession and passion are two different things.
True that.
Your main goal when you look at profession is something different. It's maybe financial stability. It's maybe going for bigger materialistic achievements. That is what you focus on when you are talking about profession, right? And that's where hierarchy comes into picture. That today you are a manager, you want to become this, you want to become a leader, you want to become an MD, chairman, etc. When it comes to passion is a never-ending game.
Beautiful.
It's a never-ending game. In profession, you have a start point, you have a stop point.
True.
In passion, it's a never-ending race. You are not running the race to win. You are running the race to live. That's a difference between passion and profession.
I'd like you to repeat that statement. That is such a powerful statement. You're not running a race.
You're not running. Yes. When we talk about passion, we are not running the race to win. We are running the race to live. Right?
Beautiful.
And Nakul, honestly speaking, when you run a race to win, that's when you have fear. That's when you have fear, because then you are constantly checking who is on your left, who is on your right, and is he ahead of me or I am ahead of him. But when you are running to live, that's when you just compare yourself with what you were yesterday. You don't compare yourself with someone else. And that's what I think is the true meaning of growth. That's how you grow, right? So yes, Nakul, it was difficult in terms of, because and also Nakul, I would like to add on this that already there are various corporate trainers, there are various corporate coaches who are into mental wellness. But when it comes to mindfulness is comparatively a new field in the eastern part of the globe. And you rightly said that our rishis and our the gurus have been giving this for free from ages. But the problem with us, I'm talking about us, the eastern part of the globe, we don't like to accept anything which is white label. We don't like to accept anything which is white label. We want a brand over it. We want a nice packaging over it, and we want someone with nice American or British accent to speak something about it. And then we would say, yes, I want to go for this.
Yes.
Right? So there are people who are already into the mental wellness field. There are people who are teaching, making a difference. But I just thought that if we bring this holistic knowledge and try to serve it in the most secular manner, that can attract many people, that can attract people from various different backgrounds, because people come from different school of thoughts. Right? And my aim and my perception towards this was, how can we serve something in the most generic way so that people are able to connect with it. And that's where we chose science to be our voice of marketing. Science, because science is a universal language. We all understand it. We all have the same composure in terms of physiology, biology, and psychology. No one can say that I don't have these nerves, I don't have these organs, I don't have a mind.
True.
That's a personal belief. I'll not comment on that. But everyone would agree to that there are basic existential things that we have. So working on them can be an easier path. So that's how we moved forward. And then, being a part of corporates for 15 years, knowing people, and that's how I started connecting with them, because they knew me personally. So starting there, it was easier because I was able to, that was the point of identification. I was able to identify what are the problems and the trouble areas that we used to go through when I was a part of it. And that's where I started connecting with them, because I know how it works, when it comes to your quarterly performance, your QBRs, and your monthly performance and your fortnightly performance, and you are being watched under the lens. It is difficult. And you rightly said that, fear is always there. There are so many people who wants to change their profession, who wants to, because they are not really happy. Nakul, if we really think, almost 65 to 70% of our life we spend doing something we don't love. We are just doing it because we have to. We need a paycheck on 1st or 7th, right? We are just doing to survive. Now, if you are constantly investing your energies, your time, your efforts, and all your mental and emotional resources in something that you really don't love, I mean, how are you going to grow? Because at the end of the day, you will not feel satisfied, you will not feel happy. I personally love the theme of your interactive series, that let's open up during this lockdown. I really resonate with it. And again, I would like to extend my gratitude for doing that.
Thank you. And Alok, I would absolutely second what you're saying. Now, I too interact with a few CEOs, who happen to be my friends or some known acquaintances. So they tell me that, Nakul, now I'm 50 years of age, I have a family, I have a company with 1,500 employees, I have BMWs, and I have a big bungalow, and I have all the success, And if you really put me on a stage, Nakul, I'm going to tell people that this is what success is, this is how you should live your life, and blah, blah. But he tells me that, Nakul, I want to confess it to you that I'm not happy. You tell me what should I do to be happy. I do not feel the passion which I used to feel 20 years back when I started this profession, because I felt that this is the answer. If I become financially successful, if I become socially successful, that is what would make me happy. But after 20, 25, 30 years of toiling day and night, now when I have it all, I am not happy. So they are like, मैं अपनी बीवी को भी नहीं बोल सकता हूँ कि वो बोले कि तू साले पागल हो गया है, 25 साल बाद बोल रहा है कि मैं खुश नहीं हूँ, when you have such a big company and everything. And he's like, tell me, how can I be happy? How can I find some purpose in my life? So like mindfulness or meditation, it's usually perceived as something you do जब आप बूढ़े हो जाते हो, अपनी जिंदगी की जिम्मेदारियों से मुक्त हो जाते हो, or something which you do to attain God and just to get nirvana. How do you manage to convince people that no, I mean, that is certainly that you get moksha and nirvana and you get enlightened if you meditate, but meditation has a lot of benefits which are relevant for every individual, be it a student, be it a corporate professional, or be it any Tom, Dick and Harry. So can you please throw some light on what is the value proposition, for people who wish to meditate and do not wish to attain any enlightenment or mukti or heaven, but just want to live a better life?
नकुल, ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग, मुक्ति और निर्वाणा को छोड़ दो आप, वो बहुत दूर की बात है। वो बहुत दूर की बात है। आज के जमाने में आप सिर्फ इतना बोल दो कि ये प्रोसेसेस करने से आपको 10% ज्यादा खुशी मिलेगी। You will get 10% more happiness. You will be 10% more happier than what you were. People are ready to come to you.
Absolutely.
Because happiness. Now the thing is, I would like to connect this with the basic theme of this entire interaction. All the people who are watching us right now, and every one of us, I would want ourselves to ask ourselves this question: am I happy? One simple thing: am I happy? Am I satisfied? Am I content? Am I happy? Am I satisfied? Am I content? Little bit of self-reflection and little bit of some kind of intention you put in these thoughts. If you think that you are happy, if you think that you are content, if you think that you are satisfied, then you are open.
True.
There is no need to open anymore further.
Yep.
If you get an answer that I'm not happy, I'm not satisfied, and somewhere I'm not happy with whatever is going in my life, that means you're closed.
True.
That means you're closed. It's as simple as that. But for some people, it would not be as black and white. Some of them would say that, नकुल यार, मेरे जीवन में अगर मैं देखूं तो कुछ एरियाज में आई एम हैप्पी, कुछ एरियाज में आई एम सैड. Then I would say that in those areas in which you are happy, you are open. In those areas in which you are not happy, you are closed.
True.
Why? There is a logic to this. हम खुश कब होते हैं? हम खुश तब होते हैं जब भी हम जो चाहते हैं, हमें अगर वो मिल जाता है तो हम खुश हो जाते हैं. हम जो चाहते हैं अगर हम वो नहीं पा सकते तो हम दुखी हो जाते हैं, निराश हो जाते हैं. राइट? तो अभी हमें ये देखना है कि whatever we are wanting to have, why are we not able to have that? There is a process. The way we think is the way we speak, is the way we behave, is the way we act. And the way we act is the kind of results that we get. This is a simple process.
True.
Now let's do a back calculation. If you are not getting what you want, that means there are some actions which are wrong. There are some thought processes which are wrong. We need to just do a back calculation. That's where we will get to know that there are certain thought processes, that certain belief systems which are wrong. We are holding on to certain belief systems. We are closed on those thoughts. We are closed on those beliefs. We are closed on those experiences. And we are closed on those perceptions and perspectives in life.
True.
When we start opening up there, automatically we'll start getting what we want. Now the problem with us is, Nakul, that we are in a rat race. We are doing the same things over and over again. We are doing the same things over and over again. And it will be the biggest stupidity to expect different results by doing the same things.
So true.
So we need to bring some kind of clarity, some kind of pure awareness, consciousness in what am I doing? If I'm not happy in my relationships, especially, let's drill it down. Not happy in relationship with whom? With my parents, with my spouse, with my boyfriend, my girlfriend, with my siblings, with whom? Why am I not happy? What am I expecting and what am I giving? It's basically a barter that you do in a relationship. This is what I always say, that relationship is nothing but it's a barter. In some relationship, money is exchanged. In some relationship, feeling is exchanged. In some relationship, care and concern is exchanged. So every relationship is a barter, and we cannot do a good barter. We cannot justify a barter when we are not ready to give bad quality goods, but we expect good quality goods.
Very true.
अगर आप सड़े हुए चावल देके बोलते हो कि मुझे अच्छे बटाटे चाहिए, ये नहीं होगा.
So true.
शायद एक डीलिंग हो जाएगी, दूसरी बार वो सेलर नहीं आएगा, वो बायर आपके पास आएगा ही नहीं.
बिल्कुल.
So it is all about, we have to become super conscious and we have to bring some pure awareness in terms of what area I'm not happy. When we bring consciousness, Nicole, I want everyone to understand this. What's the basic importance of mindfulness? When we bring in pure awareness between us and the entity with which we are dealing, the entity can be our thought, the entity can be our emotion, the entity can be a person, the entity can be a situation. When we bring this kind of perception, pure awareness and mindfulness between us and that entity, that's when we are creating a space.
So true.
And when we create a space, that's when we are looking at that entity from an objective point of view and not a subjective point of view. And when we start looking at things from an objective point of view, that's when we unfold the power of choice.
Absolutely.
And when we unfold the power of choice, that's when we plan to respond and not to react. Till now, I would put the whole thing into a perspective saying that till now, the world was open and we were closed. But now this is the time when the world is closed and we have to we have to open ourselves, because now this is the time to bring in pure awareness between us and all the entities with which we are struggling.
Right.
Because you rightly said one thing, that there is always a fear, constant fear which is going on. And you know what, Nakul, let's also dive into the scientific aspect of our brain. Our brain works on two aspects. Number one is safety, and number two is efficiency. Our brain wants us to be safe all the time. And our brain wants to be efficient, because our brain comprises of just 2% of the overall body mass. But at the same time, it consumes 20% of the overall body energy. Yes. And that's the reason it is called as the least efficient organ. High maintenance and the least efficient organ. And that's the reason, Nakul, our brain always puts us on autopilot.
Yes.
ज़्यादा काम नहीं करूँगा मैं. You just work on autopilot, because if our brain starts working with the same efficiency as we started driving the car for the first time, the kind of attention and the awareness that was required, if every time our brain puts in so much of attention and so much of awareness, our system will hang up. So it puts us on autopilot.
Yeah.
And the problem with autopilot, Nakul, is that we keep on doing the same thing, we keep on getting the same results.
Yes.
We keep on doing the same mistakes and we keep on failing. And at the end of the day, we say that I'm not growing in my life.
True.
I'm not getting the results that I want.
Yes.
I'm not happy in my life, even after having BMWs and Mercedes, as that person told you.
Right.
Because he, there would be a purpose behind starting the company, which he started. There
True.
would be a motivation at that point of time, which pushed him to start that thing. But with every age and stage of life, we need to accordingly calibrate and recalibrate our needs, our wants. Because our life has different needs and our life has different wants in every stage and every age where we are.
True.
Right? So when you ask a child that what do you think about philanthropy? What do you think about making contribution and changing the world? The child would laugh at you. Let me play my game.
So true.
Right? And if you ask a person who is almost in his deathbed, you ask him that, would you like to start an LLP with me? Let's do a partnership. I'll give you so much of share. He'll tell me, let me die peacefully. Right? Because I need peace. So every age and every stage of life, you have to manage your needs and wants in a more specific and a constructive way. If we are not able to do that, we will lose on our work-life balance. And that's the reason people are not happy.
So true. And so deep.